Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Director Watch, an Awards Watch podcast that attempts to get inside the mind of cinema's greatest auteurs, explore what drives them, and maybe we go on a few unrelated tangents along the way. I'm Ryan McQuade, the executive editor here at Awards Watch, and joining me, as always, is my starting quarterback, my co-host, Jay Ledbetter.
Ryan, I have decided I'm going to start every episode of our Warren Beatty series with a quote from someone about his sex life.
I think this is the only way, actually, we can start this series, Jay.
Obviously, Warren Beatty, one of the most famous, I don't know, what's the word I want to say? Casanovas, stickman. I mean, look, he's a stickman for the ages, no denying. This is from one of his exes. This is from one of his ex's sisters, who she claims did proposition him, and she claims that she turned him down. She said Warren would proposition a chair if it looked at him sideways. So we're going to start with that one. There will be many more, probably better ones, but I quite like that one. Mm. They estimate in the book that I'm reading that he might have had sex with close to 13,000 women over the course of his life.
Not as much as Will Chamberlain.
Not as many as Wilt Chamberlain, but
Wilt the still.
The crazy thing about that is he had extended relationships. He dated women for extended periods of time and just sort of, had side hustles.
Kept doing it.
It's like it's like this podcast for me. It's like, yes, I have a job, but I'm doing this podcast on the side.
Okay. That's not where I thought you were doing the analogy, but okay. That's not where I thought you were going.
Oh, by the way, we're talking about Heaven Can Wait today. the first film that he directed.
Can I say one thing about all this? And I will actually probably bring this up next week when we talk about Reds too, because I think this is kind of one of those questions you should ask the guests about. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to ask you up front first. Okay. So like he's been with 13,000 women. So
I would probably say that's an overestimate,
but let's say there's somewhere near that ballpark.
Whatever. He's well into the thousands.
Over under.
No doubt.
Yeah. That's a lot of parts. Anyway, my question would be is about Annette Bening, because she tamed the beast, right?
Seems to have been the case.
So what does that then say about Academy Award nominee Annette Bening? That she can contain this wild man and get him to stay potentially faithful all these years?
I'm going to let the audience come to their own conclusions on that one.
I'm just saying, I think it's an interesting thing to think about.
Well, obviously he was aging for one.
Yeah, but I mean
that's a huge part of it.
I mean, that's his best friend is like Jack Nicholson, and Jack is like one of the other ultimate stickmen, where those guys are just dating.
They have a lot of
cachet
companions that they have shared over the years.
Exactly. Like there's that one video I always saw that always pops up online every now and then. It's Jennifer Lawrence wins the Oscar for Silver Linings Playbook. Have you ever seen this one? And she's backstage with George Stephanopoulos. And all of a sudden, who pops out of nowhere just to come in there and say hi is good old Jack, right? And he goes, "You look like a girlfriend I used to be with," and And then Jennifer Lawrence goes, "Do I look like a new girlfriend?" And he says, "I thought about it," And,
Jack, man.
And then he goes away and she freaks out. And he comes back around. "I'll be waiting for you," And you know what? I totally still can believe that Jack Nicholson could have pulled it off at that time, because he's Jack fucking Nicholson.
Michelle Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas. She was married to Dennis Hopper for a very brief period of time.
There you go.
Dated Jack Nicholson for an extended period of time, and then dated Warren Beatty for an extended period of time. And she said,
"Where's her
Jack
biopic?"
And Warren Beatty, she said, "Well, the thing is, one of them wants to sit and watch football and drink beer all day, and one of them wants to make love all day. And I'll let you decide which one is which." Obviously, Warren Beatty is the make love all day one. But she has quite a history. Yes, I'm sure there probably is a biography about her out there somewhere. That's an interesting life. This is an interesting era of of film and filmmaking and celebrity.
Yeah,
particularly.
Well, this is they're part of the new era in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
Warren Beatty was, I would argue, we semi recently talked about one of the two films that kind of started New Hollywood as much as anything else, which was The Graduate. And I think Warren Beatty starred in the other one that kind of started the revolution, which was
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yep.
And that's where Mark Harris's book, Pictures at a Revolution, which is a great book. Have you read that book, Jay?
I have not.
It's a wonderful book talking about those films at the time.
Mark Harris, of course, wrote the Mike Nichols biography, which is a great book.
Exactly. So I really do think it's an essential one, I think, for you to kind of read about the best picture 5 of that year that Bonnie and Clyde was included in, and how those movies sort of shaped and molded Hollywood for the next decade or so. And Beatty is one of those figures at the forefront of the 70s and leading into then. I think like him and others, where he becomes, by the end of that decade, he becomes not just a familiar face as an actor, but he then becomes more known later in his career for what he does behind the camera. And he's part of that next wave as well, like with Redford and with, in the 80s that takes their movie stardom behind the camera. But he starts in the 70s here with Heaven Can Wait. 1978, him and Buck Henry make this film, and
sort of,
and
Buck Henry was definitely on set.
He was definitely in the movie, so he's
yes,
but
he had to stay on set because he was in the movie,
exactly,
against his better instincts.
But this feels like also too, when we talked about Mike Nichols, we talked about Elaine May at the beginning of the year, and Elaine May ties into Warren Beatty because they were very close friends, and Elaine May is a credited screenwriter on this film alongside Warren. They had a great professional relationship. So that's why this felt like the right series to. I mean, obviously this is coming out in the last week of the year, but this is the one we're kind of transitioning the most to talk about into the new year, Jay. And I'm super excited because you revealed something to me at the top of this episode that you are not.
In the pre-record.
In the pre-record, you are not an aficionado on these movies. You have not seen a Warren Beatty directed film.
I have not. I've seen plenty of movies starring him, but I have not seen any of the films that he directed. Which he hasn't directed a ton of movies. He's only directed 5 films, which is going to make this a fun kind of short condensed series, and also it'll be fun because we haven't really covered a Hollywood kind of gossip icon in a while. Probably not since Nichols.
Well, I was going to say, Nichols, but we haven't covered like
true Hollywood legend.
I guess somebody that you could say is like, even before they stepped behind the camera, they were one of the most famous people on the planet.
Yeah.
Have we done that one yet? Like, have we done the actor? Is this the first actor director that
how many other people are there like that? There's Redford.
Redford. You have.
Affleck, I guess, was sort of that.
Does B. Coops count now?
Cooper counts, I would say.
Cooper counts. Clint
definitely counts. We haven't covered Clint.
No, we should cover Clint.
That would take a whole year.
Well, no, you cover Clint like pre-2000 and post-2000.
You split it in half?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
There's some good gems in there for old Clint.
Yeah, Clint's a good director.
Clint, good director. You hang out with him a lot because you agree politically.
I love him. It's me, Caviezel, Clint.
In the chair.
Hanging out.
And the chair that with the ghost of Barack Obama.
Yep.
Remember when he did that?
I sure do.
Clint,
man, I think he's got another movie in him.
I think he's going to try.
Come on, Clint.
You liked Juror Number 2, right?
I did.
Was that in your top 10?
If it wasn't in my top 10, it was right outside.
Like in the top 20?
I thought it was quite good. Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of nuts, but I love that for you.
Thank you.
So, Beatty. What have you?
Beatty.
What's mostly your relationship with Beatty? And then is it just like
Ryan, can I tell you what my main relationship with Warren Beatty is?
Is it his sex life?
No, I mean, sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
My main connection with Warren Beatty is I I like him fine enough as an actor. He's not one of my favorites or anything,
Hmm.
but I hear about him as this absolute sex god, and every time I see him in anything, I'm like, I do the Jason Bateman in Arrested Development. I'm like, him? Really? It has never computed to me that he was considered like the best looking person on the planet.
Well, I mean, you want
I
to get
mean,
people, you want to get in trouble for this?
he was. I mean, I just don't get it.
You don't get it.
No.
Okay.
Because, and I think partly it has to do with the fact that what he's really good at on screen is being kind of a doofus. That's what he's
Yeah.
best at.
Yeah.
And maybe that kind of bleeds through into my perception of him in his personal life, which clearly was not the case.
I don't know. I think you watch it and I'm like, I kind of get it. And then also,
See, I just don't get it. I
I think
don't get it.
I was like, he's a good looking guy, right? He's not the worst looking guy.
No,
Like,
but people thought he was the best looking guy.
oh, I mean, that's ridiculous. That's Robert Redford, and we all know that.
People, when Warren Beatty was at his peak celebrity, it was like, there is no one better looking than this man.
Well, Jack wasn't like considered the most good looking man of all time, but he had game. I think that's the thing is Beatty had game, and he had
No, but you
he had
read
a
about
drive.
what people
He had
say
a
about him.
he had a
and it's
drive and
like,
determination, didn't he? Too like there's a
you
little-
understood that Nicholson was a grinder with a devilish charm.
Yeah.
With Beatty, I think it was similar to kind of what I think of with Redford. It was just like
It came
just
easy
kind
to
of
him.
had it, and women. He was like he had a gravitational pull to him, and also he wanted to have sex with every woman that he saw.
That's fair. You know,
Like there are quotes from people who are like, he should have had higher standards. I don't know what his deal was,
I mean,
but it's not like he never missed.
No, he never. No, he if he wanted something, by God, he was going to get it. And
I just don't understand him as one of the all-time important people, so to
no,
speak.
but you get him as a movie star. Yes.
I
mean, people thought Elliot Gould was attractive. I would never say that. Like the
Elliot,
70s
and
were a
then-
different time,
Well,
buddy.
this comes down to sort of their on-screen persona. Elliot Gould had this kind of
He was a dork.
he had kind of this like hot indifference to him.
Yeah.
Where it was like he had a coolness factor. Whereas Beatty, and he's acknowledged this, he's like, I'm best when I'm kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
That's when I'm best, is when I'm a handsome idiot.
Yeah.
And I think
It's
that
kinda-
is his best on-screen persona.
Reminds me a little like Leo.
A little bit, yeah. But
Leo's
that's
best
Leo,
when Leo's now kind of in that era where
Leo
it's like,
now. Yes.
yeah. No,
Not
'cause you-
before when he was movie star Leo.
Can I
like,
tell you-
like pure golden age Leo.
Can I tell you something about Leo real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So,
Okay.
will you allow it, judges?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, sometimes I double buy on physical media, and I got the Catch Me If You Can 4K, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had to. Sorry, it's what you do when it's a great movie.
I might need to get that one. I haven't gotten it, but you know how much I love that movie.
I love that movie too, and I
Yeah.
agree with you. So, I get it, and I open it up out of the box, and it's got Leo and Hanks on the front, right? And my wife walks in the room, and she goes, "God, Leo was so hot." And I go, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah, he's hot in that movie."
That's boyish.
And then
boyish Leo.
Yeah, and she goes, "Chalamet could never." And she walked out of the room. So she not only
Interesting.
she said a piece on both, and I actually respect her for that, and very much agree.
No, I mean, yeah, the Chalamet thing is another one where I'm like, him.
But that's the thing, right? There's one a
That's
generation.
just an eras.
Did you
eras thing?
do you have that with Leo? Did you have that?
No,
with Leo?
early Leo. I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Who was the one when we were growing up? You were like him.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
I mean, like I understood like Brad Pitt. I understood Leo. I understood like Wahlberg. I got that.
Wahlberg's one where I might kind of be like, really?
Well, I just get like, what was
But
that?
I don't think Wahlberg was ever really like those guys either.
No, he's big into Jesus. You know,
Not at first.
no, I know. Like who was the guy from our era? We were like, oh, okay. Who is that? That's a good. It's
I
a
don't
good
know.
question.
I might have to do some
I
on the
had to
fly research.
on the fly, like old Tiger Beat research for you there. But
Yeah, I
no,
might have to go back.
I understand and get from an on-screen persona. I mean, he's also marketed as you're saying that like Bonnie and Clyde is a turn of the century, big important film. He's in a lot of the big important films in Hollywood. He is one of the it guys. And so I understand I you may not get it, Jay, but I understand it's like if you presented a man who yes is goofy but also is willing to make fun of himself but also just has massive charisma when he's on the screen and then is off screen with the confidence of that I am the most good looking man in the world and get whatever I want.
There's an arrogance and ego to him, no
There's
doubt.
there's an attraction and allure to that, a tractor beamness that I think people gravitate
Agreed.
towards and still gravitated towards for like 20 years before he was with 20, 30 years before he was settled down with Annette Bening.
Yeah.
And I think that's I mean, that's makes it even more fascinating because here's the thing: it's like Warren Beatty is one of the horniest people ever to be in the movie business.
Yeah, apparently it's just all he thought about at
He
all
also
times.
is an incredible humanitarian, and he's
Very politically active.
very politically active, and has a lot of great friends.
Seems like a
and
very intelligent guy.
is a very intelligent man. So there is a sicko amongst the highbrowness as well of him too. Like this is a guy that made Reds, which when we talk about that next, I know you haven't seen it yet. Like you watch that movie, and then you read this biography, and you go, "This man contained fucking multitudes," and he's so fascinating. That's why it was like
He is.
we got to talk about this. Like
And this is just not a guy who's ever really been on my radar pop
no,
culturally.
but like then you
So
watch him in movies in the '70s. Like I know you watched Bonnie and Clyde this week, right?
I watched Bonnie and Clyde. I've seen Shampoo.
And you've seen McCabe, Miss Miller.
McCabe, obviously, I think he's amazing.
That's one of the
I
great
don't
films.
watch Shampoo. Like that movie, I think is good, but
Yeah.
I don't watch that and think like, well, this is the most desirable man in the history of the world.
But you know what? Everybody did, and that's why that
I
movie
know.
was such a big fucking
Or even
hit.
Bonnie and Clyde. I mean, I come away from that movie thinking, Faye Dunaway, Hachi Machi.
Wait, what?
But
What was it? Hachi Machi?
Hachi Machi.
But you had never seen Bonnie and Clyde, right?
No, first watch, yeah.
It's crazy that you never seen that movie. What'd you think?
I know. It's good.
Oh
It-
wow!
I can-
Oh,
I-
here he comes with the hot takes of wow, Bonnie and Clyde, kind of. Okay.
It's good. It's one of those that, in my opinion, feels dated because it was the start of something, whereas I don't feel that way about The Graduate.
Yeah.
The Graduate, I think, to this day feels very transgressive, and I think that's just one of the sharpest screenplays ever written, and the filmmaking on display still holds up by modern standards, and yada yada yada. Bonnie and Clyde, I think, feels like the Kool-Aid man busting through a wall and being like, "Hey, things are different now," and then we would continue to kind of go beyond that over the course of decades.
I still think it's a
So-
very, very good movie.
I think it's a good movie. It feels very modern,
Mhm.
but because it feels very modern, it feels a little. And I know this was at the time people were like, "This should be illegal," but now it feels a little chaste almost.
You know, years ago when we talked about Howard Hawks, you and I together on the old show at In Session Film, we talked about Scarface feeling a little bit like that. Where like at the time they were like, "Get this off the screen; it's going to
Yeah,
hurt the children," and that's a little bit what Bonnie and Clyde is like. But I still think it's quite. It's so engaging and so fascinating of a film, and they're both very good in it.
You know who was like one day away from making that movie like 20 times?
Who
Truffaut.
really?
Yeah.
That would have been fascinating, right?
He was going to make it, and then they were like, Warren Beatty's going to be in it. And he said, nope.
Well, that's mean.
Yeah, he was not a fan of Warren
He was
Beatty.
not a fan of Warren Beatty.
Personally or professionally.
So he just probably was like you. He's like, I do not get it, you know.
He didn't
But-
get it.
So
But Beatty, you know who Beatty wanted in it?
who
Originally, because he was always going to be the producer. He wanted
Mhm.
Bob Dylan.
to play Clyde?
Yeah, because he was like Clyde in reality was kind of slight and he didn't look like a movie star. And then
No,
eventually he was just like, oh, we're gonna throw that out the window and just make him Warren
Bob.
Beatty
I'm
and
gonna
fade
say
on the
this.
way.
Bob Dylan would have been terrible.
It was gonna be Bob Dylan and
What?
Shirley MacLaine,
Ooh,
who
no.
is
Warren Beatty's sister.
his sister.
Did you learn that this week too?
I did know that already. They
Okay,
have a bit
good.
of a fraught relationship, but
Yeah, they have like a like in public. They're like, "I love my brother," and then it's like, mm,
it sounds like Warren was just kind of indifferent. And it's my impression of it is that Warren Beatty seems like one of the most competitive people that has ever existed in the
yeah,
world.
he is.
And so when his sister was successful, one, he didn't want it to be like, oh, you're only famous because of your sister. And also he was like, I need to be more famous and successful than her, or
Yeah.
else I will feel like a failure. He hated The Graduate for that reason. And he would always, apparently, anytime he would talk about other people's movies, he would be like, oh, yeah, I mean, it was good, but you really, that ending, you screwed that up because he wanted his movies to be better. And that's what he said about The Graduate. He's like, yeah, until that, like, that ending, I mean, disaster. I mean, obviously, Bonnie and Clyde, much more, much more successful film.
I'm just gonna say this: The Graduate better than Bonnie
The
and
Graduate
Clyde.
is better than Bonnie and Clyde.
Graduate's like one of the 50 greatest films of all time.
I love The Graduate to death. Mike Nichols was offered this movie.
He was offered Heaven Can Wait.
Mm-hmm.
What did he make instead?
Well,
Did he make like Catch 22 instead or some crap like that?
that might have
That
been
might have
around
been
this
what he
time,
did. Yeah.
but he had, Warren Beatty was in The Fortune with
Yes, with
the Mike
Nicholson.
Nichols movie, which was that movie was
Oh,
leveraged
oh, that's yeah.
to make Shampoo.
Oh, it
The only
was.
reason Shampoo got made is because Warren Beatty was like, I'll only make The Fortune if you let me make Shampoo.
Well,
And
he's
then The Fortune was
smart.
a disaster, and Shampoo was a smash success.
So, what made him, Jay, based off of your reading and everything, want to step behind the camera? I mean, it had to be because of he was already producing and making projects. It's just kind of like the
Yeah,
logical next step.
I would say partly it was ego.
Yeah. Well,
He
it
was
goes back to that competitive spirit, I guess, as well, too, right? About the fact
he was
that,
always a control freak.
yep, sounds
He
about right.
had slowly sort of started becoming more and more involved in his own films. Supposedly in like McCabe and Mrs. Miller, he didn't really jive with the way that Robert Altman made movies,
No, he did
and
not.
he and Julie Christie pretty much wrote their characters on the page with lines to be delivered on screen, as opposed to the very improvisational style that Robert Altman had practiced to that point. That does, I mean, you watch that film and it does feel more intentional than some of the other Altman stuff.
It does.
Beatty did love MASH, and I think that was more of a politics thing as much as anything else. And also just in the same way that Bonnie and Clyde felt so transgressive and like a middle finger to traditional Hollywood, that's how we felt about MASH and why he wanted to work with
Altman.
Altman.
Well, this is that movie is a middle finger or to even the American Western in some
Yeah,
ways.
yeah.
It's playing with the form a lot.
But he wanted to direct Shampoo, but
Yeah.
didn't really feel like he was there yet. And if you ask certain people, he basically did direct Shampoo. Hal Ashby, I don't think had the greatest relationship with Warren Beatty. As many who have worked with Warren Beatty have not had the best relationship with Warren Beatty.
No.
He is a perfectionist. He is very particular, and he thinks very highly of himself. So
There is where Heaven Can Wait steps in.
yeah,
I mean, to your point as well, like he writes the screenplay with Elaine May, if I'm not mistaken.
well, really, Elaine May takes it on first,
Yeah.
writes an entire screenplay, and then some other people kind of touch it. I think Robert Towne took a pass at it. A couple others.
So all like
He was
friends
good
at this time.
I wouldn't say good friends with Robert Towne, but they definitely
No.
had a very active working relationship. They built Shampoo together,
Yeah.
and they continued to work until they didn't. And
Yeah.
Warren Beatty, in addition to rubbing people the wrong way while working together on set, also regularly sort of shafted people on the back end of financial gains and credits. But here he got with Elaine May before sort of massaging the script, not just before the film was shot, but every single day during production.
Mm-hmm.
and you get this film, which I mean, I do love the hypothetical castings, Ryan, and we
Oh,
should say this is a remake.
yes,
This
it is a remake. Here Comes Mr. Jordan.
Yes, and that is a film that I watched,
I did as
and
well.
I think it's good. It has a very sort of 40s sensibility. It has this very traditional old Hollywood construction to it. The budget was clearly not very big. It takes place largely in like a handful of rooms.
I think that that's the thing is the idea is such a grand idea. It at the time couldn't be expanded upon,
Right.
and so it plays more like a play than it does,
Hmm.
which it is based on. It's based on a play,
Right. Yep. Yep.
and so it does have like these really juicy ideas in it, but it can't transcend the form. That's at least my opinion on it.
Right. No, I still think it's good.
I still think
I
it's very good.
enjoyed
No,
watching it.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I mean, this is honestly a great vehicle for somebody to start their career off because it's a 90-minute um, film. And then you're talking about like 30 years later is when they made this thing.
Hmm.
And you can
Yeah, more
see
than that, like
where
35.
35 years or something like that. And you can see where like Beatty would then be interested in wanting to take the chance to expand it into the modern world because a lot of films like that like Heaven Can Wait, the way it's made is not the way that they made movies back in the 1930s and 40s. So
Right.
in a lot of ways, like at least stylized like this, so in a lot of ways like it was primed for a good adaptation. And for comedians, this it's one of the great setups ever in
Hmm.
that, in that, because you can play with form, you can play with, you can be silly within it. Its own rules are convoluted enough as it is, so it can be a comedy of errors as well. There's a lot to tackle inside of this property, so I can
Yep.
understand why he's attracted to it, and also getting to work with one of the great screenwriters and playwrights of their time in Elaine May. Like Elaine May I mean, they had a great relationship until they didn't have a great relationship anymore, right?
Yeah, she wasn't that involved once she handed off the
No, she
screenplay.
just kind of,
It
here you
was touched up
go.
by others and
Yeah,
Beatty.
exactly.
But it is important to note that this movie was made even before this. All that Beatty wanted to make was Reds. That's what he
Yeah.
wanted. Reds, 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 Reds. And it was a hard screenplay to crack. And while that was sort of in limbo, he decided that he wanted to make a film that was sort of like a fantasy comedy drama. And he loved the original film. And he decided to make this, but he originally wasn't going to direct. He offered it to Arthur Penn, director of Bonnie and Clyde. Offered it to Mike Nichols, who said no. And he offered it to Peter Bogdanovich, who said no. And then he was like, okay, well, I still don't think I'm all the way ready to direct. So why don't I get a co-director? And he got Buck Henry, who was sort of at a low point in his career. He was like, I understand that I'm sort of the number two on this, but it'll be good for my career and I can sort of at least keep everything on rails. Well, that wasn't really the case. It was a nightmare for him. Warren Beatty tortured him basically on set and like truly embarrassed him in public at any possible chance. Um, and he basically would have quit, except that would have eliminated the credit from his career, which he thought would be valuable moving forward because he thought the film was going to be successful, which he was right about. But it was originally going to be a boxing film in the same way that Here Comes Mr. Jordan was, and Warren Beatty wanted Muhammad Ali.
Yes, he
Uh,
did.
he wanted Muhammad Ali.
One of the greatest professional athletes of all time. One of the great, I would also say, Jay, entertainers,
Personalities. Yeah.
personalities of all time.
You totally understand why he would people would want him to
I
be in a
mean,
movie,
go
like
if
lead the movie.
y'all out there don't know seeing the clips of Muhammad Ali in interviews with like Howard Cosell, do yourself a favor
I
and
mean,
go
there's
on
a reason
YouTube and
people
watch
wanted
it.
Will Smith to play him because he was that charismatic.
You float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Like
Yeah.
that's where it all comes from. And when I read that this week, Jay, I was like, that is one of the most insane ideas I've ever heard. It does kind of sound a little Bradley Cooper-esque of like, you know, Bradley wanted like was like almost like at one point it was Beyonce and then it was Lady Gaga, and it's like like having the casting and seeing that in your brain, and then somehow it worked. Now, obviously, Muhammad Ali was not in the film, but that's the kind
Nor
of
did he ever, to my knowledge, lead
read
lead
for
a
it.
movie.
He never read. No, he never did any
Yeah.
acting. But that's kind of where you're like, what if I could take a swing?
What's an example of that? I mean,
Well,
Anthony Edwards sort of did it in that Adam Sandler movie, but that was a much smaller role.
I mean, we've had conversations about this before, like when we talked about Freakin', we talked about Shaq and Blue Chips, right? And what are the great athlete performances of all time? And
well, yeah, I mean, Shaq definitely tried to have his.
He tried to have his. Ray Allen
career.
Tried to do his own thing.
Well, Ray Allen is actually maybe the best example in that.
Yeah,
I like that movie a lot. I think there could have been another lead performer in that.
Well, they
film.
were wasn't it supposedly like Spike's first choice was Kobe and not
I believe that is
Ray
correct.
Allen, and then Kobe was
Yeah.
like they couldn't get the money right or whatever, or something like that. Sure, wink, but yeah, I mean, I
Kevin Garnett obviously
yeah,
he's great in Uncut Gems.
He's so
minor role, but
well, I mean, and Marty, I mean, it's out now, right? And like when the time of this recording is Christmas week, we talk about Marty Supreme. There's some athletes in there for sure too. Not into the New York Kevin Garnett, but they love to pop an athlete in there. Like, Jay, can I tell you when I watched Marty Supreme, when I had the biggest smile on my face during that?
When was that?
When the Iceman was showing up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they do kind of know ball.
That is one of the that's the one where I'm just like, that is the ensemble of the year, just because of how weird it is. I mean, it's
you got Abel Ferrara, Penn Jillette, Tyler the Creator, Mr. Wonderful, Fran Drescher, and George Gervin, along with Gwyneth Paltrow.
I mean, we got the casting Oscar this year, right?
Yeah, but the casting's different than ensemble. You know that, right?
Well, I know, but
yeah.
How do you not give it to Marty Supreme, though?
Well, a lot of people think it's going to go to Sinners.
Sinners. Okay, I could see that. I would give it to Marty. There's
either like people have said Sinners, they've said One Battle, or they've said, some other stuff as well.
Who votes for the
casting directors. They make
so
up
it's
the
not,
5.
Not everybody. Because if it was everybody, it would just turn into ensemble.
Okay. So I'm
asking.
Okay. No, I'm trying to tell you, buddy, is that for the nominations, the casting director picks the 5. Okay. So like how like the actors pick the actors, and the cinematographers pick the cinematographers, right? And then everybody picks picture, right?
Right.
So when it comes to the final vote is what you're asking, right?
Correct.
That's everybody in the Academy.
Okay.
So it'll I
think that's going to become ensemble then.
See, that's what I hope it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like my hope is that they actually understand that it's about discoveries, it's about casting decisions, it's about choices. It's about the eclecticness of the.
I think that could just end up being best picture.
I think it's going to end up being like picture or like SAG ensemble, kind of thing, which is sad because it shouldn't be that way. It
wasn't very hard casting Leo.
Yeah, but it was so.
I mean, Chase Infinity, obviously. I mean that.
Tiana Taylor
all
those military people, all the other kids.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people in there.
There's a lot of
actor,
not an actor.
Oh, you know that guy who made the Jeffrey Epstein meme joke?
Oh, Jim Downey.
Yeah,
all the Christmas.
No, but I'm just saying that's what people will know him from.
Yeah,
he's
Conan's podcast.
Yeah,
everyone, that's what he's talking about.
Yes,
one of the great
Jeffrey Epstein, the financier.
Jim Downey, one of the great comedic minds.
Yeah,
ever. Like he wrote all of Norm's stuff.
SNL, Conan, Norm.
Yeah, all that stuff. He's phenomenal. But he's also, this isn't the first time he worked with PTA. He's also, he's like the real estate guy that Daniel Day-Lewis buys all the real estate from in There Will Be Blood. He goes, "Don't be thick with me, Al."
I didn't know that.
That's Jim Downey.
I knew that. He's always employed a bunch of like comedians.
Well,
LA
yeah.
comedians.
I think if you don't know him for the Conan bit,
Or
you
New
know
York too.
him from Billy Madison as the "I award you no points and may God have mercy on your soul" guy that says that whole
Yep.
monologue. So I think that that's what you know him for. But yeah, no, those are. I mean, that's how the casting thing's going to work this year. It's going to be. Do you want to know what I personally think should be up for casting?
Sure.
I think that the crew for weapons should be considered
Yeah.
because they had a full on cast and they had to replace the entire cast because of the strike. And the only person they kept was Austin Abrams.
Well, see that, yeah, that then you start to bring in logistical
It's part
outside
it's
of the movie itself
but that's
stuff.
part of the
Which, yeah.
movie. You know what I mean? Like
Well, see, that would be my argument for like why Mad Max Fury Road should have won Best Director, because it's like the level of difficulty that they're dealing with
I totally
is
agree with you here.
a 10.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you understand the context of that, then yeah, that's a miracle.
Well, like hearing that they shut down production for like 2.5
Do you know who
months.
the do
So
you know who
that
the
like
original cast of Weapons was?
like Pedro Pascal was supposed to play the Brolin character.
Oh, I think that's an upgrade.
That is it would have been a massive mistake for him to play that character. I don't know all of them, but they were just kind of like
But
question
I mean,
marks.
what my question would be, what else was Pedro Pascal doing? He hasn't been
Uh,
working very much.
oh, I see where you were going there. Do you think we have a little too much of him right now?
I just don't know if he's very good.
Are you? Oh, you're being serious now.
Yeah.
Okay, because you were one. Okay. I think he's good. I just think I haven't seen. He's playing too many bit roles.
I think
I
he's
don't know if he's good as a
plumb
lead.
bad in Fantastic Four.
I think that movie's. I'm indifferent on that movie. I think that's fine.
No, but I think he's the worst thing about that movie.
Sure. I think that that's the decision that they let him and the director make for that character. But there's moments I do like him in that. I think he's really good in Eddington.
I think he's very
Um,
good in Eddington,
I think he's.
a movie you love.
I'm still in the middle on that movie. I'm not.
You hated it when you saw it. Have you come around a little bit?
I find it to be a very interesting thing. I just don't know if it all works in the end. It's and then also hearing some stuff. I will say this: I heard from some people about, and I think Astor's even talked about like what the original ending of the movie was going to be and how it was going to tie into like January 6th and some other stuff. I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad
I agree with that.
that it was what it was. I was like, we have Aaron Sorkin to do that. We don't need you to do that, Ari Aster. But I think he's also very good in Materialist. I think I haven't seen him in a lead performance. That's the tricky thing about all this. It's like, when's he going to step up and be a lead? Because he's making a living as a supporting actor.
I think he's bad in Materialist.
I don't think he's bad in that movie.
He also has the leg thing is just like that is a thankless scene that he is asked to do there.
Yeah.
It is, whatever. I want him to succeed. Because I do think, I mean, I remember seeing him in Game of Thrones and just being like, well, this is the next movie star of our generation. And then it didn't happen for a while, and now it seems like it might be happening, and I'm just not sure I see it the way I did before, unfortunately. But you know, I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. Who knows? But I'm in Beddington with Eddington, so
But anyway,
I love that movie.
were there other casting stuff from this film that caught your
I
eye?
think the other big one would have been that he wanted to bring Cary Grant out of retirement
Oh man,
as
Carrie.
Mr. Jordan.
Oh, that would have been great. That would have been really good because he kind of has like a little Cary Grantness to him as well.
He does. I mean, James Mason, I think, is good.
No,
in
I
the
think
role
Mason's perfect in this
as
role.
a sort of authority figure. In the original film, it was Claude Rains, who I think has a similar energy to James Mason, just sort of like a steadiness and presence that a lot of those old Hollywood guys have. Cary Grant probably could have brought a little more fun to it, maybe, but he'd been retired for a pretty long time at this point, so that would have been a pretty big get. Kind of like when Spielberg wanted Gene Wilder for Ready Player One.
Oh yeah, but he got Rylance.
And Rylance is great, but yeah, Cary
Rylance
Grant's
is
last movie was 1966.
what was it?
Walk, Don't Run. Can't say
Nope.
I've seen it.
That's what the audiences were doing.
Charles Walters.
Charles Walters. Um, haven't seen it. Sad to say.
Doesn't have a very substantial Wikipedia page, so I'm assuming it did not set the world on fire.
No, doesn't
Although it
sound
looks
so.
like it was relatively financially successful.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, well, shall we talk about the film?
Yeah, the film Heaven Can Wait. I would love to.
Okay. Jay, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on this film that you saw for the first time this week?
Yeah, first time watch. I was excited to finally take it in, and I think it is at its best when it feels like an Elaine May movie, and not when it feels like a Warren Beatty star vehicle. I think there are a lot of very funny bits in it, and Ryan, you know what I'm going to say.
I know where you're
When is
going.
this thing cooking with gas?
Thing is cooking and is on fire when Charles Grodin is in the
When you got
scene.
Grodin on screen, you're spinning gold,
That
baby.
scene where like Beatty comes into the bedroom and Grodin's behind the curtains or whatever because he's with Farnsworth's wife.
Yep.
Fucking genius shit. Just
When
genius.
I like the part when she screams
Screams.
and Grodin is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, she saw a mouse," and they're like, "Just now?"
No,
She said, "Oh no,
before.
but before, yeah, before." So good. Obviously, Elaine May was the one that recommended Grodin
Because they had
for
worked for
this
on
role because they
Heartbreak
worked
Kid.
with The Heartbreak Kid, one of the great movies ever made.
Yes.
That still can only be seen on. It looks like it was filmed for like a Nintendo DS, but
Truly one of the great movies we watched this past year
yep,
and the most infuriating part of
it's crazy.
not being able to own that movie because I would
Yeah,
watch it like 100 times in a row.
it's one of my favorite movies, genuinely.
It really is. I thought about it so much. I think about it. Can I tell you when I think about like the Heartbreak Kid a lot?
When
When I see people with like we talked about relationships a lot this year, I feel like. And just when you see like members of your family with new relationships and you know the family member, but you don't know this new person that's walked into your life and you're just super skeptical. I just
hmm
think a lot about the dad like going to the door and
the
seeing this
best.
relentless creep continuing to like be a pestering bug into his life. I just think of that a lot when like family members bring a new person. I'm like, are you going to be this like wart on my foot for the next 30 years of my
It's the
life?
best.
It's no, it's that's why that movie is absolutely incredible. And it's a wonderful pairing with The Graduate.
There's no deceit in the cauliflower. He's the best. Grodin, absolutely one of my guys. And when this is explicitly a comedy, I think it really sings. When it tries to become more plot driven, more dramatic in nature, I think it's a little sloppy. I think, particularly from a character arc perspective, I don't really know what I'm supposed to take away from this movie. At the end, it sort of has like an eternal sunshine thing where the person you're supposed to end up with is the person that you do end up with, regardless of your
Well,
memory.
technically, this is where that would come from, not
Well, yes,
Eternal
I
Sunshine.
know, but that film does it far more successfully than this one does.
Sure.
But the logic of it is just all over the place. Um, and honestly, it kind of just stagnates when it's going plot point to plot point to plot point, and it's a lot of people just telling you what's literally going on the screen.
Yeah.
But when it is trying to be just like kind of more popcorn comedy entertainment, I think it's really good. And honestly, the football scene is pretty good. Warren Beatty plays a mostly believable quarterback,
I
which
was
is
gonna say,
not very normal for a movie where an athlete plays an athlete or an actor plays an athlete.
yeah.
So
I
a
mm,
mixed positive on this
okay.
movie, I would say.
I like this film. I don't love it. I think that this is a premise that has still not been fully tapped into cohesively all the way through in its three iterations, Jay. Because the first iteration is Here Comes Mr. Jordan, which is this really sort of like we talked about, a very straightforward adaptation of this material. And then you have Down to Earth, which is a movie that you didn't even know until
I did not know this was a thing.
Down to Earth, which is a Chris Rock vehicle that Chris Wentz, I believe,
the Whites brothers, Chris and Paul, the American Pie guys.
Yeah, Chris did this, and like Rock and Louis C.K.
I think they both are credited on it.
Are they both credited? I thought it was just Chris.
I think it's the Bros.
No, I thought it was just Chris. Maybe I'm wrong on that. You can look that up. They try to attempt to make this in the
It's the Bros. It's both Bros.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Screenplay by, among others, Louis C.K.
Yeah, like I just said. Jay,
once again, you did just say that.
Not listening.
I was just looking down the credits.
Once again, not
I repeated what you said. You got the directors wrong. There
you go. There you go. But a vehicle for Chris Rock nonetheless in this whole experiment. And for me, Jay, like I think that this is the best version of this story so far. It's very interesting that like this is like Beatty's, this is like another Hollywood Star is Born sort of situation where we've had multiple versions of this one way or the other, and everybody has their favorite version of it. I mean, the Criterion Collection has Here Comes Mr. Jordan, and like nobody claims Down to Earth, but a lot of people do claim this one is the best version of this. And I do think it is. It's a fascinating film because I do think that you're right. Like it at times wants to be something that Beatty is very involved with, and almost feels like Beatty is making his version of A Matter of Life and Death, which is what a lot of the undertones I got when I was watching this film, especially like the heaven sequences and the freeze framing of it all, the use of characters that can speak to somebody, but obviously the reality around them is continuous, and so it makes them sound kind of crazy. And that's where some of the comedy bolts into it. And then there's this, what I think Down to Earth does is it kind of just shows you like the guy that Chris Rock's in the body of is completely different looking than Chris Rock is. And in this film, I don't think that they do a good job at all of kind of showcasing that. I guess this guy Farnsworth is, physically this like not too far off from Beatty and has like physically is up to the task of if he could emulate being an NFL quarterback. All he has to do is work out for a couple months, which I find to be very interesting.
That is very funny. They do not really go into the
specifics of that.
Is this guy is controlling his body in the same way that he controlled his old body, but it's a completely different. I mean, it does beg questions that kind of break your brain.
Yeah, it does. And so I think when you start thinking about like the logistics of things, I think the movie kind of falls a little bit apart.
Which I think is part of what's so great about A Matter of Life and Death is they really dig into like the bureaucracy of heaven.
Well, there's never like a conversation or him pleading to like why he should stay here and why he should be in this body and why
right
why he's learned a lesson in here, and of course he like ends up in the body of a billionaire essentially, and has all these resources, but then doesn't, but there should be more moments where he's sitting with the fact that like his body was cremated. Is that what he wanted? Like never being able to be back in there. There's never moments where the drama of it all, he gets to really sit with it because the movie's moving too fast at an accelerated rate 100%. To slow down and find the humanity in it. But what's inside of this is some really goddamn good comedy, and Beatty's really good at it. He's really good at the physical performance. I did highlight here that yes, you're right, Jay. Like he at the time looks exactly perfectly built to play a quarterback. He's got the sort of quarterback looks, and he does a really good job of conveying that in the practice scenes and then the scene in the Coliseum, which God, that looks, I mean, that actually was like where the movie had juice, where it's like in the comedy scenes and then in like these really great football sequences.
The Super Bowl scene was shot at halftime of a preseason football game,
and it looked completely packed, and
they had 14 minutes to do it, and they kicked him out after 14 minutes. And Warren Beatty was like, "If you don't let me have more time, I am going to murder everyone in the stadium." They didn't, but he didn't murder everyone in the stadium.
But he didn't murder everybody.
It was a bluff. Yeah,
it was a bluff. But the movie is good. Like, it is a good enough effort out the gate. I think that also some of the relationship stuff is a bit weak. Like, I think Julie Christie's
that's the biggest problem with the movie. Yeah.
I think Julie Christie's really good. Like, I like him and Beatty have her and Beatty have great chemistry. We saw that in McCabe and Miss Miller.
They dated for a very long time.
They dated for a very long time.
This was after they had broken up.
Yeah.
They did not like each other.
No, they didn't. But they made it seem convincing. I just don't think.
And Julie Christie kind of hated Hollywood at this point. She was like, "This is awful."
But I don't feel like we truly get to know a lot about her, and we don't get to really explore why he wants to be with her, other than he saw her across the room and was just like, "That's the one." And so, like, there's some bits to it, and then I think there's when they have the investigator show up in, like, the house, you know which part I'm talking about, where, like, they think he's dead, but he's already in his other body, and he's about to play the Super Bowl. Which there's actually, like, something quite heartbreaking about that. He's already in a new body. They're finding Farnsworth in the ditch. And then there is when he's celebrating at the height of his moment, there is this whole, like, I'm never going to be able to remember myself getting to that point. There is something heartbreaking about that. There's something there, and they just don't get there. Yeah. It just doesn't get there.
I feel very little in the last scene of this film. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, like, it kind of feels rather just, we need a nice, neat bow because we need the audience to have bought into this romance that we've done for the last hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right.
And it's like anybody could have said the words that he said. It's not like it was like such a tell. Just like, hold my hand in the dark and we'll be okay.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Phrase.
I think, you know what, Jay? I think if you and I were walking in a tunnel and we couldn't fuck it with our wives, and we're like, and we were trying to
interesting turn of phrase.
But I mean, it's still very well made, and I didn't hate I didn't didn't.
It is a largely cinematically engaging,
but of the three,
very competent.
But of the three I watched this week, this is the best one.
Yeah,
it may not say much, but this is the best one.
I mean, Down to Earth, again, a film I did not watch because I didn't realize it was a remake.
Now you're really mad at yourself that you didn't.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you what I did?
What did you do?
Last week we were talking about it, and I didn't even realize it was a remake. You informed me, oh, it's a remake, without going into any detail, and I was like, okay, here I go. Heaven Can Wait. There's an Ernst Lubitsch film called Heaven Can Wait that has nothing to do with this movie.
Did you watch it?
That was the one I bought.
Okay.
Blindly, the Criterion.
Yeah,
I was not able to watch it because shortly after I found out that wasn't the one that this movie is based on. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It sounds like a really interesting movie.
It is.
But the other Here Comes Mr. Jordan is also on Criterion.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time to buy that one, so I watched that one digitally.
Okay.
While I have this other one on Criterion, and then I didn't even know about this other one. I mean, a catastrophic series of events for me, Mr. Preparation.
Are you going to watch Down to Earth this week?
I have read 250 pages of Warren Beatty biography, though, so that's been fun. But no, the movie thing was a disaster.
Are you going to watch Down to Earth this week to be a completist?
I mean, we did this episode already. I probably won't.
It's only 94 minutes.
I'm going to go into Soviet cinema for Reds.
Well, do you know what the what Chris Rock's job is there in that one?
I just looked at the Wikipedia page. It looks like he's a comedian.
Yeah. And it's all about, like, performing on the stage of the Apollo.
Okay.
And like, that's like his Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Down to Earth.
It's
Heaven Can Wait is a better title than Down to Earth.
Yeah, Down to Earth is.
It's
a little rough. It's a rough movie. It hasn't aged well. Like it's also it's just not funny. Like for like
that's the biggest problem. Chris Rock, not exactly a sterling filmography.
Listen, I love Chris Rock as a stand-up, but
Head of State.
I honestly like Head of State a hell of a lot more than I like Down to Earth.
I mean, that's oof.
Because Head of State has Bernie Mac, and
love Bernie Mac.
I love Bernie Mac. I miss Bernie Mac to death. And there's just like that scene where all the lobbyists, because he announces like that Bernie Mac's going to be his vice president, his brother, and he's a bail bondsman, and all the lobbyists come off the train, and just Bernie Mac's introduction is just like slapping all these lobbyists in the face. It's very, very funny. But yeah, no, I should have probably communicated better with you then, and I apologize for that.
No. It was.
I just thought you knew. I just thought, if anything, you would know that a Chris Rock.
I'm embarrassed. Is
movie was like kind of. It seems like the movie perfect for you to want to talk about today.
I know. But here I am.
But here you are. But yeah, I think like the movie fundamentally has first time director qualities that are problems. You know what I mean?
A little bit. Yeah. You know,
it doesn't
feel like a fully realized vision.
Well, you know what, the other thing that's interesting about like the first 20 minutes of the film, I'm not even the first 20 minutes, like the first 5 minutes of the film, okay, is this sense of that Joe is a very isolated and lonely person. And then he really only has his coach.
The trainer, Jack Warden.
Yeah, who's really good at this.
We love him.
He's really good in this movie. And that and so like even on his birthday, he's sitting, and like his coach comes over with a cake. He's having his normal shake. And his goal is just to start so that he has a chance to one day lead his team to a Super Bowl. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of interesting. The idea of like someone that's so focused on what they want that they've isolated everybody else in the world. And it's very interesting for Beatty to play that because he's the most, tractor beamed individual on the planet, but he has that isolating.
That's the thing I don't feel about him.
But I understand that, but there's a difference between what you feel and what is a reality. Is that people gravitate towards Warren Beatty.
Yeah. I guess if you take the meta components of it, yeah.
And so him playing someone that he's pushing everybody away to get to greatness. Well, he is kind of doing that in some ways because every time he collaborated with somebody, he's an absolute monster. It seems like because he's a perfectionist and wants what he wants, right? And so there's an interesting thing there, but that's 5 minutes of the movie, and they abandon any of that through line of like, I should be grateful, or I should want to be around more people, or I should, there should be some through line with these things.
There is an element of the movie that's just like, what if there was the best guy in the world? And Warren Beatty's like, I could play that.
I could play that guy. Like
I know just who to cast.
But I was thinking a lot of Bradley Cooper with this movie. And I was thinking a lot of A Star Is Born.
Bradley Cooper's got some Warren Beatty in him.
He does have some. He's got Stickman qualities to him,
and sure. And kind of I think more of a man's man movie star. I think.
Yeah, and I also think too, like this movie has moments. I know you're way higher on A Star Is Born than I am, but that movie had moments where I was like, God, I feel alive. And this movie does have moments where it's like, God, this guy's really good at his job. And he got it. There's a couple of moments. But
that's me with Grodin.
Yes.
Like
it's like he understands what this property is supposed to be. I think all the stuff in like Heaven too, like at the like opening stuff, like the way
it is crazy how similarly styled it is to Here Comes Mr. Jordan though. It is like the same thing.
But what's really
like when he does the push-ups in the clouds. That was funny.
That's really good. But there's just something missing, and it's, I think, just inexperience as a director that is missing here from this movie that also was missing in A Star Is Born, that the electricity fades away or fades in and out. And there are moments where you're just like, man, this thing should be better than it is. This movie should be funnier, or this should be more emotionally probing, or this should ask more questions. And it's, what if the guy actually did get what he wanted
Yeah.
and still got the girl and still won the Super Bowl and everything was fine. It worked all. It's too tightly
Well, I
bowed
mean, I
on
guess
together by the
it's
end.
supposed to be this bittersweet. Oh, he got everything that he wanted, but he can't even remember it.
But there should be a moment where he's like screaming for that, or he's like, "No, I don't want to go." Like, you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
kind of forcibly being taken away. And there should even be a little bit of like, not to rip off A Matter of Life and Death, but there should be a pleading scene, or maybe he does talk to Mr. Jordan, or Mr. Jordan has an overseer or somebody where he can plead his case and say, I literally feel like a changed man and would give away everything in the world if I got to be with her. I live with my Super Bowl, but I can't forget her. Or if because the love story is really what's supposed to matter the most here, right, Jay? There should be something that ties all this
Well,
together, right?
yeah, I guess in theory. I mean, I think when it's a comedy, it's the best. It should be a better love story. What it ends up being for me is
It's just a
like
vehicle for him.
jack of all trades, master of none, kind of, where it's like it's a good comedy, it's a mediocre love story, it's a mediocre drama with mediocre world building and mediocre ideas, sort of, which ends up being basically like a pretty good comedy is what I think of this
I
movie
wouldn't
as.
say mediocre ideas. I think it has good ideas. I just don't think they tap into
It has
any of them.
interesting ideas that aren't explored
There you go.
very
That's
thoroughly.
way
Yeah,
better.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, there are two movies that I kept going back to, and you can't criticize a movie for not being other movies, but the two movies that I just kept wanting it to reach the levels of were A Matter of Life and Death, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I wasn't expecting this to reach those heights.
Very few films ever get to that
Yeah, no,
level.
no, no, for sure. But I don't even think it gets
That
close.
movie gets to the gas within the first 10 minutes and never
Yeah,
stops.
yeah. And then the other one was Defending Your Life, an Albert Brooks movie I love.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah,
Which
Meryl Streep.
that movie honestly feels like an interesting cousin to
Yes,
this film, as well as also to A Matter of Life and Death, because that movie fundamentally is asking itself, what is the, is asking those questions
the
about
world
life.
building is phenomenal in that movie. This movie has no
Did you watch
interest in the mechanics of its story, really.
did you watch the movie this year, Eternity?
No, the Elizabeth Olsen film.
I am actually very curious to hear what you think about that
Yeah,
movie.
that's one I missed
Because
the screening for that when I was out of town.
it has the skeletons of those
I
two
have
films
no
that you
idea what it's
mentioned.
about, but yeah, I know it's sort of like fantastical.
Do
But
you want
that's
me to
all.
tell you what I can just tell you?
Give me the elevator pitch.
Okay, so two old people, man and woman, they've been together for 60 years. The older gentleman dies. He goes to like essentially like, I guess, like the waiting area for heaven, and you pick your eternity, where you want to spend the rest of your life with, and it's various like different like locations. Like you can be in France world, or you can be in like
Oh,
mountain
that's
world, or
interesting.
you can be in like the beach world, right? And you have to choose, and you have 2 weeks to select your place. So within those 2 weeks, his wife, and that's who Miles Teller plays, his wife passes away shortly after, right? And his wife is Elizabeth Olsen, and they've been
Mhm.
together for 60 years. And they think that they're going to pick their eternity until you realize she was married before to Paul
Mm.
Turner, and he's been waiting there for 60 years for them to pick their
All
eternity
right, that
together.
sounds interesting.
So she has to decide which eternity and who she wants to spend it with. And it's a very interesting premise. It's very interesting.
I have mostly heard from people that it is interesting, but not as successful as they wanted it to be.
See, I think the movie is very, very good until like the last 5 minutes, and I know exactly how to fix it. But I'm not the one that's getting the check from A24.
Right.
But I think that Elizabeth Olsen's very good in it. Kind of made me turn around a little bit on Colin Turner. Teller's got the sauce. I think he's
Sounds pretty in my
it's
lane.
I think you would like it. I think you and the wife would actually really enjoy watching it. Divine Joy Randolph plays like essentially like the angel in charge of the whole situation as well too.
Good casting.
Good. It's really good casting. I think that, yeah, I forgot who directed it, but it was I can look that up real quick, but yeah, that's a movie I think you should pop on um, soon, and because it does have the um, it does kind of have like the bones and the structure of some of this of the those films that you were talking about. Um, oh, I was thinking about a different director. Yeah, he's mostly made like small films. One movie called The Cured, and the other film was called Dating Amber from 2020. Nothing really significant. So this is like his first big like
Hmm.
swing, and I thought he did a pretty good job. You know,
Yeah, it's what I want to see. I mean, from the just when I saw the poster, I was like, I don't know what that's about, but it looks interesting.
it is interesting. I think you will like it. Like it has that Albert Brooks. I think
Albert Brooks would be fun to do
Brooks would
on
be
this show.
he would be really fun to do. I think it has the it's a better James L. Brooks movie than James L. Brooks made this year.
Oh,
So it has,
yeah. Well,
and then a little bit out. It's got both of those guys
I still got to
as
check
main
out. I
guys.
still got to meet Ella as well.
Are you going to do the challenge?
What is the challenge?
So you know how like in the poster she's trying to put like her shoe on.
Oh yeah. The pose.
Yeah, the pose. So
Is
like
that a
people.
thing that people are
So
doing?
now it's like when you go to see Ellen McKay, people have made that the Ellen McKay challenge where you're trying to put like your shoe on.
That's not a good sign for the movie when that
No,
becomes
it's
the
never good.
thing.
I
Yeah.
watched that movie. I think it's pretty poor. It's not as bad as his
Yeah.
movie before, but
I'm gonna how do you know defender?
I know you are. I think that would be actually
The
he would
the
be really.
mildest defender possible, but
But also, I think that this movie too, has just like so many problems with it. It's so long. It's like 2 hours and it's like 2 hours. I think in 10 minutes, 2 hours and
well,
long.
that's
It's
that's
really
the
really
that's the
long.
James L. Brooks problem that he passed down to Judd Apatow.
It's like those movies are like 30, 40 minutes too
Judd
long.
Apatow did try to become James L. Brooks with like
Funny
probably
people.
funny people from then on. Yeah.
This is 40.
I'm the number one defender of This Is 40. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No,
I am,
I knew that.
yeah.
I don't actually dislike that. I actually at times
That
like
is like a
that.
staple in our household.
I actually think that that movie at times is actually better than Knocked Up. Um,
Interesting.
because I think
Yeah, I don't know. I like them both.
yeah, I just don't go back to
Judd
Knocked Up
Apatow
that
did
much.
make the worst film ever made.
Is that the
The
blob?
Bubble.
The
The
bubble. That's what
Bubble.
it's called.
Oh my God.
Talk about it. It had Pedro Pascal in it too, right? Didn't it? If I'm not
It
mistaken.
did. That was maybe the beginning of the
Is the
end for me and
bubble
Pedro.
worse than movie 43?
I've not seen movie 43. I've not subjected myself to that. But The Bubble is seriously one of the worst movies of the
I
last
feel like if we make a
10
bet
years.
in the next coming years on something like a football game or something, I would pick movie 43 as your punishment. And I think that you should watch it.
Does Apatow have anything brewing?
Uh, I mean, I don't know. I know his daughter, Maud Apatow, directed a film called Poetic License. I think it's what it's called.
Yeah, it's gonna
Um,
win Best Picture, I think.
it was with Cooper Hoffman and Leslie Mann and who's that guy from No Hard Feelings? Andrew Bard, whatever his name is. Anyway,
Oh, that guy. Oh,
yeah, you know
interesting.
what I'm
Okay.
talking
Hmm.
about. I watched it at TIFF. It's actually really good. It's a really good film. It's actually very much like a callback to her dad's type of films. But I don't know. Um,
Because The Bubble was 2022.
I don't know if he has
He did the
done.
Gary Shanley documentary. He did the George Carlin documentary.
He's in documentary mode. Looks like
Yeah.
that's fine. You know
He
what I
was
mean?
just he was the man for a decade.
Yeah. He was like this is the
He
guy
was
that's
the face of comedy.
yeah, because between that and producing like the Adam McKay films,
Yeah.
the Seth Rogen films,
Anchorman,
uh,
40-Year-Old Virgin, Talladega Nights, Knocked Up, Walk Hard, Super Bad, Zohan, Pineapple Express, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Step Brothers, Funny People, Get Him to the Greek, Bridesmaids.
yeah,
Um, and then they
yeah.
start getting real long.
then they start getting sequely and long. It's a little bit like Pixar. Like you're just like like Pixar had this run where like, wow, this is like maybe the greatest cinema ever. And then it's like, what if we just did sequels and lesser products from the same people?
The 5-year engagement felt 16 hours long.
That movie is rough. But
Yeah,
on
that movie's
paper
not
that
good.
should have been really good, and it just wasn't.
I lost some money on my Jason Segel stock, although it's gone back up with
Shrinking.
Shrinking. You watch Shrinking?
I love Shrinking.
I love Shrinking, man.
I think Ford is incredible.
Ford in the last
Oh,
episode of the last season of Shrinking had me crying like harder than I've cried at anything in the last 5 years.
you know who's somebody, Jay, that we take for granted a lot these days is Harrison Ford. That is, and
Well,
I know you're thinking, I'm crazy here, but that
he
man is
stopped trying for a long time.
true. But doesn't everybody? And they still give people.
If you're
awards
saying
and stuff? Historically,
yeah, he should have an Oscar. He's like a great actor, not just a movie star.
he
He has not gotten nearly enough credit for that.
no, he doesn't get enough. I say,
Witness, that's like a real movie.
like I know Tom Cruise is very important to this industry. And I know he just got the honorary Oscar. And I'm so happy for Tom Cruise to have that. But the fact that Harrison Ford doesn't have that,
He doesn't even have an honorary Oscar.
doesn't even have the honorary. It's
That's
fucking
crazy.
ridiculous. He's Harrison fucking Ford. He's Han Solo and Indiana Jones. He's in The Fugitive, for Christ's sake.
That's nuts. Yeah.
Like he's the Jack Ryan.
God, The Fugitive is so good.
Like he's oh man, The Fugitive is like one of the great films. Air Force One. Oh my
I
God.
don't care.
I don't care. Tommy Lee Jones, so good in that movie. But
Crazy
yeah,
that he won an Oscar for The Fugitive.
you know who has an honorary
Awesome
Oscar?
that he did.
Warren Beatty. And he has
Yeah.
a regular competitive Oscar. Warren
Well, now
Beatty.
you're just
I'm not getting mad at Warren. I'm just saying, like, they
no,
knew.
you're cheating the game.
What do you mean? Oh, well, does he have one for this? We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. We'll say, we'll see. But what else do you want to say about this film?
What else do I want to say about this film? I mean, we should probably talk a little bit about the supporting performances, I guess. We talked a little bit about Julie Christie. I am a big fan of Julie Christie. Not my favorite performance she's ever given, I must be honest. She's kind of coasting a little bit.
Can I ask you something about Julie Christie?
Yep.
This is not trying to be rude to Julie Christie.
Okay.
Is she a stop the world on its feet sort of beauty?
Ryan, this is a conversation my wife and I had watching this film.
I just wanted to know. Like I was like, I think she's a very pretty lady, but I was like, stop the world and be in Farnsworth body for a couple of weeks type of
And
thing.
Ryan, I feel the same way about Julie Christie that I feel about Warren Beatty.
Okay.
I just am sort
You're
of
a little
like,
cilantroed on them right
like
now.
I'm with you, but only like 60%.
Okay.
Not on the Mount Rushmore, let's say. Obviously a beautiful woman.
Semi-important, not fully important.
Yeah, she's an honorary mention. That feels very rude, but
It does. I'm not trying to be rude to her. I'm just asking, like.
but I feel the same way about Warren Beatty, so it's gender neutral.
It's gender neutral. Everybody out there, don't get on Jay.
I'm an equal opportunity
Opportunist.
hater.
Yes, exactly. So, but no, I just wanted to know. Like, I think that's a really good question to ask, because I was sitting there being like, really? Like you were
Her? You were Jason
I
Bateman.
did a little Arrested Development. I was like, her?
Yeah.
But like I'm just saying this, and like, trust me, Sophia's gonna go, you're a fucking idiot.
I did rewatch McCabe and Mrs. Miller, and I was
You were more into her there?
Yeah.
Well, I think she's
because of the opium.
I think she's gorgeous and wonderful in Dr. Zhivago. And I understand it there. Like I understand her and Omar Sharif are like two of the most beautiful people on the planet in that movie. Like that, to me, like I get it there. This one,
Julie
I'm
Christie's
like,
still kicking.
yes, she is. And so I was just curious about that. That and like, so the other thing about the movie with the whole shutting down of the plant, right? Can we talk a little bit about like just the mechanics of
Oh,
all this.
the ethical side of it, where he's like a good guy because he stops the introduction of these environmentally intrusive plants in various areas.
Yes. Yes.
Don't really feel the impact of that in the same way that honestly I felt it in Here Comes Mr. Jordan, when It's a Wonderful Life. He like gives all the money back to the investors that he has swindled and things like that. That feels more explicitly cathartic because you're kind of seeing it on screen. Here it's like we didn't do something, and that doesn't have the same punch.
No, it doesn't. It just feels like a boardroom scene where he's like, we're just gonna move the goalpost and we'll be the Super Bowl team in another place or whatever, he's kind of says. And it's like all sports metaphors. And
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
the
not a very well written scene.
no, it's not. It's just like, okay, somebody get this man checked out for a concussion, if you want to do that. But what was so crazy about the movie is just like, okay, if he had all this power, why is he even going to a boardroom? Because he sounds like he can just make the deal
I mean,
to
he did just buy the Rams on
for
a
like
whim and nobody questioned him.
for like $78 million.
67 million dollars, because one of my favorite lines in the movie is when the old owner is like, I can't believe he took my team from me, and then his assistant is like, what did he do to pressure you into selling, sir? And he's like, I said $67 million, and he said okay. But apparently the value of the team at the time was like $19 million.
Yeah, so
I think is what they say.
he
The
paid
company's
three
stock
times the
was
value.
at 59 million, and now it opened at 14, or $59, and now it opened at $14.
Yeah, so he essentially bankrupt his company so that he can live out his dream. What I'm saying is Joe is an extremely selfish individual that used whatever this.
Well,
I mean,
sure.
like he could have given some of that money to charity or anything, but he's just so
Well, yeah,
focused
I
on
mean,
that.
fair.
I mean, like you're talking about, like, and Here Goes Mr. Jordan. Like this guy, yeah, I'm not going to do the plant, but I am going to take all this money so I can be the quarterback of the Rams. And everyone's just like, yeah, sure, fuck it. We don't. What are we going to say? He paid three times the value of what this is. This would be like Elon Musk buying the Cowboys for $3 billion and say, you know what? I think I want to be quarterback.
I do like when the defensive linemen keep jumping off sides to hit him as hard as they possibly can.
Because they're pissed that he has to, that like he's their quarterback.
It's like in Remember the Titans when the racist tackle lets the defensive end through. So that
Well,
he
it's
can.
like it's you know what I thought about, and this movie is probably where they got it from. Have you ever seen the remake for The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler?
Yeah, yeah.
So
A masterpiece.
when Sandler, when they find out that Sandler like made the deal with the warden,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And they all hit him like a couple of times. And they do it in the practice scenes because he point shaved in the Super Bowl. So I was thinking like that was actually a tip of the cap to this movie a little bit when I was watching that, because it's like they just keep hitting him and then he's just like, you know what? If I can't hit this pass, then I'll quit right now. And I wish that was done in the huddle, though. There's some decisions. It's like, put the goddamn camera on you. Don't make it sound like ADR. Just put the camera in there with you to show like how pissed off these guys are, how frustrated this whole thing is. Like there's some first time director things, and maybe it's also just, the way the movies were shot back then. But there's some first time directors things where it's like,
Yeah.
you could have heightened the drama or the comedy up here a tad bit. And also the whole Grodin stuff, like that stuff's funny, but it is kind of the same thing over and over again still, Joe. I mean, Jay. Like it is those two. Like,
Sure,
I want
but it doesn't matter because everything that he says is funny. It's not
Yes.
about the plot of his character that's funny. It's just the stuff that he says, and mostly the way that he says it.
Do you think the detective stuff at the end adds anything to this movie?
No, not really. I mean, again, I think from a plot perspective, this movie is kind of inert and
It becomes like ridiculous.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's always ridiculous.
I mean,
but
it's a ridiculous premise, but it is one that I found to be extremely ridiculous at that point, because it's just like now we're playing Clue here, while the Super
yeah.
Bowl's going on. Um,
Let me ask you a question that I think might end up becoming one of the most important through lines of this series.
Okay.
Do people in 2025 care about Warren Beatty?
Wow.
What's the
Uh,
age cutoff for people caring about Warren Beatty? I think it's like 40. His legacy is not as he doesn't loom as large as you think he would have, considering just how freaking famous and influential he was at the time.
I think our
And then
generation might,
why is that?
I think our generation's definitely the start of the cutoff. And it varies from person to person based off of, I remember my dad showing me this film. So, and I remember knowing of Warren Beatty really at a young age because of this, but then really honestly knowing Warren Beatty because of his persona and because of Annette Bening. Because Annette Bening is sort of the through line that gets us all to Warren Beatty
Because
for a lot of
he's
people.
really not in that many movies. I mean, that's
No,
probably
and
why his legacy doesn't loom as
well,
large.
he's now, I mean, Annette is the one that works the most in that household, not
Well,
him.
he's made two movies this century,
Yeah. And
acted in,
well, yeah, and one of them he directed.
and
And
it made $17.
exactly. And I think that that is also a reflection of he, I mean, there's a lot of factors involved with that, and then we can talk about over the coming weeks. But to answer your question wholeheartedly, I don't think he is relevant, but he's vastly important to what Hollywood is now. I think he is. I think he is a. I think
think
he is
maybe.
I think he is an important figure when we talk about the era that is the most fond after in cinephiles rediscoveries in history.
Well, I mean, he was hugely
He
important
is,
between. I mean, Bonnie and Clyde, I think, was a like truly a landmark in
but I
cinema.
think his work
McCabe and
as
Mrs. Miller is arguably Altman's best film.
I think when you watch it next week and we have that conversation about the Reds, it is one of the defining epics of the
I
80s.
mean, that's going to be a really interesting conversation to have because I agree with you that, well, I haven't seen it, but I
Yeah.
understand that people think it's one of the greatest films ever made. I don't feel like that is a film that people talk about a lot.
No, but it's been one that's been extremely hard to find and has been reevaluated over the years. And I think also with Keaton and with Hackman, it was one that repertory screenings were really playing a lot this past year to try to. And also, we don't have like a 4K of it yet, but I do think that it's one of those like lasting things that like people would love to see a of that film be given its proper due on physical media. There's like a Blu-ray of it, but like still there could be something more done there. And I think that, I think that he is not a
Yeah,
figure that,
I was just looking at it. Sorry to interrupt you. It's not even in the top 250 Sight and Sound. I mean, it's just I understand the people that love that movie are like absolutely adore that movie, but it doesn't have kind of the
but
universal
Jay,
adoration.
the question also becomes like, what does a modern generation think of Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson has sustained, and I think it's largely
But
because
like, if I walked up on the street and I asked a fucking Gen Zer who Jack Nicholson is, are they going to know who that is?
Jack
They're going to
Nicholson
know.
has Jack Nicholson has The Shining, which I don't think will ever go away.
But
He
if
has
I
The
asked,
Departed,
I mean, sure, yes, I
which is a
understand
much
that.
more contemporary movie,
Yes,
you
yes, yes,
know.
yes. But I'm saying is that I think that the guys of that era, like I think, could you have said the same about Redford? Does Redford have had a print? I mean, like for us, we know who Robert Redford is. We know how important he is. I'm not diminishing Robert Redford, but to answer your question fundamentally, it's like, do kids know that even fucking what Sundance to
But
like,
I think
they
you have
know
to
what
expand
Sundance
it.
is? Do they know that he was a part of it?
I
Like,
think you have to expand it beyond just regular people on the street. Let's go one step further and say like people who say they like movies. People
yeah.
who are like, I like exploring new movies. They're
I
not
think if
necessarily
I think if you,
fanatical.
yeah,
I think Redford and Nicholson have sustained significantly more than Beatty. And other people might disagree with that, but that's my interpretation, and that might just be my lack of experience with Beatty kind of bleeding in into my interpretation. But Redford, I think, is just canonically one of the great movie stars. Nicholson, I think, is canonically one of the great movie stars, and he, most importantly, has been in films that people watch like every year to this day. A bunch of Best Picture winners, multiple Best Actor Oscars. He's done comedies with huge movie stars.
do you know who his best friend is? Jack Nicholson's best friend.
I mean, one of
One
his
of
best
his
friends was Warren.
was Warren Beatty. You know who gave him his honorary Oscar? Who gave Warren Beatty his
Probably
honorary
Warren.
Oscar?
Jack.
Jack Nicholson live on the
I
goddamn
mean, that's fine,
telecast.
but I'm not.
What
But
I'm
that
telling you is, it's like there's one of those things where it's
I know
like,
that he's on the periphery of their entire career and film
yeah,
history, but he himself just does not have that same
no, he doesn't have like he doesn't
power.
have 100 movies and like
And
90% of
it
everybody's
might just
watched
be
them.
pure output, you
But
know.
there is something about like, if you know what, it's one of those where it's like Jack's in Redford are like at the top of the movie stars of the 70s, and then you probably throw in like Pacino and De Niro.
Beatty basically turned down every movie that Redford scooped up.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like,
And
I don't like acting anymore right now. I'm going to go run a Democratic presidential campaign. He
he is
worked
a
on who was it? George McGovern's campaign
yeah.
for like 2 years and stopped acting.
And I think that that's the difference between him, is that like people of his generation know the vital importance of not just what he gave us on the screen, but gave us behind the scenes.
I
And
think
that
as much as
can't be
anything else to it is like
that can't be
Nicholson had
quantified.
something's got to give. I mean, he
No,
sustained and Beatty
I
kind of just stopped.
I understand that.
So I guess that's it. So
But I also think too there's like there's something about there's just something about the fact that when you know Warren Beatty now, outside of his work, what you know him in the modern context is he is around because his wife is one of the great actresses that we have working today, period. And so like that's the legacy too. It's like it's a little bit of Joanne Woodward and Paul Newman, a different, like a handoff of a baton, where she came on and now she's the one that everybody wants, and he's at home. And it doesn't take away from
I
his
mean, yeah,
work. It's an elevated version of that for sure, but it doesn't take away the fact that they are enormously popular players and power and movie stars in their own right. And Beatty is revered as a pioneer of an era of cinema that changed so much, that forwardly, even if we disagree with about like, or agree, I guess, about how much we like this movie, like he's in these movies that turn the tide and turn
yeah. I
time
mean,
for
Bonnie and
Hollywood.
Clyde was hugely important. This
Yeah.
film I don't feel is a very
No, it's
important
not
film in the
very
history of
important,
Hollywood.
but it's part of a career that was, he was very revered. And yes, I do think his legacy also of being like
I mean, the most
this
important thing
legend.
he's done in the last 25 years is the Oscar flub.
There's that, which, but again, you know, they asked like Pacino to do that. They asked Morgan
Oh, I'm not
Freeman
saying
to
it's
do
his
that.
fault, but
No, what
that's
I'm
just the
saying is just
most
like,
public facing thing that he's done in the
no, I
last.
know, but when they ask people to go up there and say Best Picture, it is the cream of the crop of our
Yeah, yeah,
greats
yeah.
left.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
And him and Faye Dunaway went up there and did that together twice, because they came back the next year and didn't screw it up with Shape of Water.
Great work, y'all.
And the point but the point being of there is, Jay, it's just like, that means that they in Hollywood and around the world for cinephiles, that's an important film. They're important film, important figures in that movement, and you can't dismiss their relevance. Doesn't mean
No,
that
for
they
sure.
had the longest careers, but that's not what we're always about. Like, we could have done Redford. Redford's career as a director is so hit and miss,
Very spotty.
so
Yeah.
hit and miss, and it's not nearly as fascinating as this one. And he is also one of the director templates for actor turned director. That's a big thing as well
I
too.
mean,
For
yeah, whatever you want to say about Redford, he certainly has made some of the best movies by people who started out as actors.
well, no, I was saying Beatty too. Like he
Oh,
is
Beatty,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Beatty started
I mean,
before
obviously
Redford.
Clooney won. We got to start there, and then you pick number two. But I think we can both agree that
Midnight Sky, the best thing you ever seen of the decade so far.
Tend to Buy,
Tender Bar.
The Boys in the Boat. Is that what it's called?
Yes. Truly, just absolutely sad that Clooney's like, how George Clooney's out of touch. What? None of those movies made it to theaters. They're all on streaming platforms.
Yeah,
And
I
then
like
where's
Jay Kelly.
I did like Jay Kelly
You
too.
got to say, a lot of
Which
people are kind of dinging it. I liked it.
you know what's funny about Jay Kelly when at the ending, this is a little bit of spoiler, I guess, for Jay Kelly. The end with the montage of all the
Hmm.
films. You know what all those movies had in common? They were all released in a movie theater. You know what all of his movies directed and Jay Kelly have in common? They're all on fucking streaming services.
You seem to be forgetting about Leatherheads, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. In a theater.
Oh,
In
they
a
did show
theater.
Leatherheads in the montage, didn't
Yes,
they?
yes, they did.
And everyone was like, "Oh my God,
God,
remember that masterpiece?"
remember when Hollywood stopped on a dime, was in Leatherhead mode.
Did you watch
True.
that Brad Pitt movie he did last year with?
Wolves.
Yeah, that one
Wolves.
was tough.
That was. You know what? You know what that movie made
That was the Spider-Man guy. What's his name?
John Watts.
Yeah,
You know what that made me very nervous for? It made me extremely nervous that they're doing this Ocean's
the
14
next
movie.
Oceans. Yeah,
It was like I was
who's
watching.
directing that one?
Oh God, I have no idea.
I think they announced it
I
because originally there
wanted,
was supposed to be like an Oceans prequel.
yeah, and it
I
was
think it was going to
supposed
be Jay Roach and Ryan Gosling, and
Margot Robbie,
yeah,
which kind of
that I
sounded
think has
cool.
been nixed.
Yeah, it was going to be like a heist in like at a like a racetrack in the '60s or something like that. So it sounded or like at a Grand Prix in the '60s. So it sounded cool.
Maybe they haven't announced a director.
Director. I thought I heard Edward Berger. Maybe I'm wrong
Right,
about
that
that.
is what I heard.
Is that who I am I right about that?
I'm pretty sure I
You know
heard
who
the
I
same thing.
you know who I would like to hear? His name's Steven Soderbergh. Fucking get him to do
Oh
it.
boy, Edward Berger dropped out. Current
Oh fuck.
report.
No.
No, this is an old report though,
Okay.
so we'll see. But this is the nightmare scenario.
This is the doomsday device.
This is old though. I think this is out of date. But
Okay, but who?
David Leitch.
Oh, talk about talk about wrapping it up, folks, because it's over. Well, didn't David Leitch he did the Fall Guy, right?
That was in January though. Edward Berger was on after that. Edward Berger has been on and off since then, so I don't think that's
Well,
David
Berger
Leitch.
has nothing lined up, which is interesting. Did you
Yeah, I
watch
still
Ballad
haven't
of a Small
seen.
Player?
No, I need to.
That's bad. That's
That
really
one was
awful.
just set up for me to love.
Well, you know what that movie like you know what the gambling game of that is, right?
I don't know.
Give me a guess. What do you think that the movie is?
Baccarat.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
And you know what's not very cinematic?
a
Baccarat.
game that people don't know how to play.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That you barely can explain in the first 10 minutes and you're like, "Oh shit." It was very funny when people walked out and they're like, "Wow, I didn't know that's how blackjack is played." I'm like, "God
it's
damn
not
it.
like
It's not blackjack."
not like blackjack in Casino Royale, or is it poker in Casino Royale?
It's Texas Hold'em and Casino
Texas Hold'em,
Royale.
because that was so huge back then. Remember that
Remember when we were
World
all
Series
doing
of Poker on ESPN?
Yeah, baby. Were you doing that? Did you buy chips? Were you
I
playing with your
did.
friends?
I played online poker,
I bet you.
and I played poker in real life for sure.
Did you get addicted to it?
No,
Did you play
I've
for
never
money?
played poker for real money. I don't think, other than like maybe like in
20 bucks.
college,
Like 20
no,
bucks in
yeah,
a pot?
20 bucks. Yeah,
Yeah. That's always good, right?
I would never play poker in it because I'm so out of practice.
Yeah.
I'd just be burning money, which I guess is what you do at a casino anyway. But
Well, I mean, that's just giving it
casino is
away.
just an expense to have fun.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
What do
I've
you?
won money at a casino, but
How much have you won?
a few $100.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean it was
And
awesome.
once you win a couple, then you just were like, you know
Well,
what?
the problem is with gambling. You
Once you
start winning,
then you don't want to stop.
get arrogant, your bets get bigger
Hmm.
and bigger and bigger. And then you start losing and you're like, I can get it back. I'm going to keep my bets the same size. And then you just lose. So there is
You
a
know what
reason
that
that
means?
casinos exist, and it is not because they lose money.
You know what it is? That's why I don't do it.
It's fun. I like doing it. But it's not something I go out of my way to do.
I'm gonna just waste my money. I'll just go buy physical media that sits on the shelf.
Well, sure. I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing, sort of.
Just gonna do my own thing. No, like there's my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law. They like to go gambling. They like to take the little trips up to.
To me, it's just like buying tickets to a sports game. It's like I'm going to lose this amount of money. I'm not going to let myself lose any more, and I'm going to have fun for 2 to 5 hours.
It's just not something I want to do. Like I rather
Yeah,
just,
it's fun.
I mean, if I'm gonna go gamble though, I guess I'll play blackjack.
Blackjack is what I play. Yeah, craps
Yeah,
can be a fun community game, but blackjack to me is the one that I like playing the most.
yeah. And I don't like to do poker at those because then you get,
Poker's hard.
it's hard at those places.
And
But I
then
like playing poker when I'm like with the
the
boys.
casino hates it when you play poker. So
I know. Like if I played poker with you, I'd have a blast, buddy. I think we'd have
yeah,
fun.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, we do that in the
But
future. Would you play blackjack with Warren Beatty?
I would love to.
Bet you that guy played a lot of strip poker.
By the sounds of it,
By the
very much
sounds of
so.
it, sounds about right. Anything else you want to say about the film before we wrap it up?
No, I think we've about covered it. It was
Okay.
a very interesting start to the series because it's not a movie I loved, but it's a movie that has a lot of good stuff in it.
Is this the most ridiculous premise for like a movie to be remade this many times?
I mean, I'm sure that's not true, but
Feels like one, right?
trying to think of one off the
What's
top
the
of
way
my
to
head.
what's the way to make this movie not like this premise, right?
I
What's
don't
the
want to
way?
hypothetically remake the movie. I mean,
Well, because somebody's going to make it again in about 20 years. So like just say like when Timothy Chalamet tries to
that
make
is weird. It
remake
is like
this,
it's like every generation gets its Star is Born, and every generation gets its Heaven
Heaven
Can
Can
Wait.
Wait. Yeah. So when Chalamet wants to make Heaven Can Wait, what does he need to do to prevent being, I don't know. There's always a flaw in every one of these movies, and it bugs me.
Esports.
Well, that's not what I'm asking here. I'm not asking what sport should he play.
I mean, look, if
What
you
thing he
want
should
the
get
the
into.
better version of this movie to me is one that focuses on the mechanics of the world and is less sort of
Are you
straight
looking?
line narrative.
Do you think that it? Well, one, it explores the relationships.
It needs to be more bold. You can be so bold with this premise and
Yeah,
they're relatively straightforward.
yeah. I mean, like there's genuine questions that even Julie Christie's character can ask
There's
about.
6 million questions that this
Yeah,
movie raises that it does not
like why
address.
are you falling in love with a guy who was clearly an asshole to you for years about this project, and suddenly he did the right thing? Like, wouldn't you
I
question
mean,
why
yeah,
you're
the
with
the
him?
charac
Like,
the characters all have head injuries.
yeah, they all have head injuries. They all have concussions throughout this. That's why it doesn't make sense whatsoever. I mean,
Yeah,
like
it's hard to
I,
buy the love when it's just
I,
like you're not a human being. What are you doing? Is this your first day on Earth?
I wish that we spent more time with Mr. Jordan in the afterlife. I think that stuff would be fascinating. I think the problem with this movie, I guess it just comes down to it, is that this premise feels so much like a matter of life and death. And Matter of Life and Death does have literally a scene where it is a courtroom battle for
Yeah,
the
it's the
soul of
best.
this man and the soul of this
Same with
relationship.
defending your life. Yeah,
Exactly. And that's where it's like, okay,
I want to watch Matter of Life and Death. That's one of my favorite
it's
movies ever,
such a
man.
good movie. And it's like, okay, well, if that's the case and you're having those conversations, they should, I mean, they talk about him here, Jay. They set up that they can have those conversations here before he goes straight onto the plane to the afterlife. So
Hmm.
let's have that conversation. Let's do that and let Beatty have this moment where he can stand up on a soapbox and talk about why it is important and what is important about being a human and being in this situation. Instead, everything feels like just this vain attempt so that he can win the Super Bowl. Like like I know it sounds
there's a
weird.
lot of vanity in this movie.
It's a very vain
for
movie,
sure,
which is very funny
vain
because
man.
watching some of these other films that you're going to talk about, this is the most vain I think he is of his projects.
Yeah, I think of him as a genuinely good faith artist.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to, again, that sort of goofy persona that he takes on. He's not afraid to kind of make jokes at his own expense. Yeah. In this movie, that's not really the case, to the point that they had to redo the poster to the tune of $250,000 because they didn't think his crotch looked good enough. They came out with the original poster print and they were like, you need to add a crease in my crotch.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's who we're dealing with here.
Oh.
Because obviously he had a bad reputation. His sexual prowess was really in question at that point.
Wow.
He was only up to like 8,000 at that point.
I was like, he's only up to like 8,000 people.
Yeah.
So
those are rookie numbers.
Those are rookie. He's got to get him up. Jay.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I'd like to test your award season knowledge based on the film we just reviewed, Heaven Can Wait, in a segment we like to call It's an Honor to Get Nominated. Jay, we've had a bunch of series this year where we did not have to dive too much into Oscar-nominated people.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
It's been a while. And so I'd like to ask you, was Heaven Can Wait nominated for any Academy Awards?
So this is occasionally reading will rear its ugly head and spoil some stuff for you. So I definitely know one very important trivia fact about this film. And that is that Warren Beatty was the first artist since Orson Welles to be nominated 4 times for the same film individually.
Yeah.
So that would imply that this was nominated for Best Picture, for which he was a producer.
Mm-hmm.
Best Screenplay, which he was credited as a co-writer with Elaine May.
Yes.
Best Actor.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one? Oh my God.
What did he do? What is the name of the show?
Oh, he directed the film. He directed the film, of course.
It's the name of this fucking show, dude.
So I know it was nominated for those 4.
Okay.
I'm going to operate under the assumption that it was nominated for more than that.
That is correct.
I don't know that it would get nominated for another performance. I don't think.
You sure about that?
Julie Christie not nominated, correct?
That is correct.
Grodin should have won. I'm assuming not nominated.
Not nominated.
Did Warden get a nomination for this?
Jack Warden got nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
That is crazy. I mean, I like Jack Warden a lot, but that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Is
that it?
Is it?
Is there another performance that got nominated?
Yeah. Who else?
I'm going to be honest. Don't even remember her name.
Diane Cannon.
That is ludicrous.
Who plays his wife?
That is insane.
It plays Farnsworth's wife. Yeah, she got nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Okay, great.
Right.
Okay. Was there anything below the line?
Sure. Let's talk about it.
Okay. All right. So, did it get a cinematography? This is a good-looking movie.
It is a very good-looking movie. We did not really talk about just how well it does look. I think I did. But you didn't.
You did. I mean, I think the real standout is that football sequence.
Yeah, and it did get nominated for.
But in general, kind of a very, just a really
standard film.
Good looking movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't. It's not a film where I'm like, can you believe some of the shots they put together for this? But it is like a, and this is a total journeyman too.
Yeah.
This guy shot Day of the Dolphin. Remember that one? Mike Nichols.
I do remember that one. Yeah. So he was nominated for cinematography. All right. Anything else?
I just can't imagine there's anything else, but you tell me.
Well, if you're stopping at seven, you would be stopping too soon because it also got nominated for best original score,
Wow. Okay.
and it got nominated and won best art direction.
Okay.
So it was nominated for 9 Academy Awards, and it won best art direction.
That is a lot of Academy Awards.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, buddy, this guy is a real deal. All right. This was the year of the Deer Hunter. This was the Deer Hunter, Coming Home, Heaven Can Wait, Midnight Express, and An Unmarried Woman were your best picture nominees. Warren Beatty lost to Heaven Can Wait. I'm sorry, he lost to Coming Home for John Voight, because Voight and Jane Fonda won lead actor and lead actress. This was the year, obviously, Michael Cimino won for Deer Hunter and director. They lost screenplay to Midnight Express. Some guy named Oliver Stone wrote that screenplay. Jay,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Heard of him?
Heard of him. Very chill, normal guy with normal opinions.
Do you know that? How many Oscars do you think Oliver Stone has?
Probably a lot, like a half dozen.
No, he doesn't have a half dozen, but half that dozen. Half that half dozen.
He's got three.
He's got three Bad Boys for three different films. He's got adapted screenplay for Midnight Express. He's got best director for Platoon.
Yeah, I was thinking of movies directed by him. How many
and
did they
then
win?
and then he's got best director for Born on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
He was nominated a bunch for JFK.
I mean, yeah, Platoon won a ton of. I was thinking more like,
Yeah,
stuff that, whatever.
but anyway, this is yeah, this is a big year. Like the Deer Hunter was the movie. Not even really close, honestly.
It was a huge movie. What do you think of The Deer Hunter?
I am indifferent towards that movie.
I'm kind of the same.
I think that movie is kind of a slog to get through.
A little bit.
And I think that a movie like Coming Home, have you seen Coming Home?
Mm-mm.
I think that is a much better film about the ramifications of the Vietnam War.
Walken is unbelievable in it.
He's great in the film. I think that the first like hour of that wedding is so just boring. And
not exactly The Godfather.
No. I think it's trying to be that in some ways. Yeah. And it's trying to be the sweeping epic of the Vietnam War. And I think there are far other films before, during, and after this that sort of represent that in a big way. But
agreed, not one of my favorite war movies.
But Beatty was he was the first to get or he was the second, I guess, since Orson Welles to get nominated for
pretty
four.
Impressive.
It's very impressive, very, very impressive.
Who has done that since then?
Well,
did Cooper?
Well, Baker just won 4 last year, for Christ's sake.
Well, that's true. But that's not even as an actor. Yeah.
That's not even as an actor. Cooper didn't. He didn't get nominated for director.
Fools.
I mean,
also, did he write the screenplay?
He did write the screenplay.
Okay.
I mean, what's his face? Redford wasn't in Ordinary People.
Affleck didn't get director, and I don't think he wrote that screenplay.
And he did not write that. That was Chris Terrio. So he's probably the last. Well, what about Barbara Streisand?
What about Clint?
Clint was only nominated.
He didn't write.
He didn't write Unforgiven, or he doesn't write a lot of his films.
Right. Yeah.
So, and he didn't write. He didn't write Mystic. Not Mystic. Well, he didn't write Mystic River, but he didn't write $1 Million Baby either. But he did get nominated for acting in that film, and directing and producing. Trying to think. I mean, that's a pretty big feat, if that's the case, buddy. Wouldn't you say?
I mean, that's huge. Yeah. Again, this movie, not one that I would think, merits that, but whatever.
No, Barbara hasn't. So, because I was thinking, oh, because she got snubbed for her for Prince of Tides. Yeah, I think he's the last one, which is kind of insane. Unless I'm out there, tell us out there, listeners, if I'm wrong, that somebody else has been nominated as a writer, as an actor turned director, not just an in general person. Because we know that that's been the case. Other people have been nominated like 3 or 4 times, plenty of times. But Beatty is the last actor director, I believe, to get nominated for 4 Academy
It's pretty
Awards.
impressive. He was a big deal, very famous man.
He can pat himself on the back, because it was. I mean, this movie, if I'm not mistaken, Jay, like this movie was a hit.
How do you think he dealt with the disappointment of not winning those Oscars this night?
I think that just fueled him to make the next film we're going to talk about in our series.
No, I think he just had
an
rabid
orgy.
sex. Yeah.
This movie was a $6 million budget, and it made $99 million at the box office. That's pretty fucking good.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's what they call a hit.
And he was coming off a shampoo. I mean, he was killing it right now.
He was killing it.
And what do? You cash in that goodwill.
Yeah.
With a movie about Soviet Russia, baby.
The Deer Hunter was a $15 million budget, and it only made $49 million.
I can definitely see why that movie didn't make as much money as this.
Coming Home was made on a $3 million budget that made $33 million. Midnight Express, an Alan Parker film,
that made $250 million.
That made, hey, I know you're gonna joke, but like that was a $2.5 million budget and made $35 million. That's still pretty good. That's pretty good for himself. And an Unmarried Woman, that was a $2.5 million budget and made 24. So technically, of the Best Picture nominees, Heaven Can Wait was the box office success.
Do you know the highest grossing movie of 1978?
Ooh, Superman.
Grease, baby.
Grease. All right.
I'm really glad that John Travolta has become Santa Claus singing Grease songs for like American Express or whoever it is. You seen those?
Yeah, those things fucking terrify me.
Those are tough.
No. Well, I mean, that's what Scientology would get you, I guess.
Second highest grossing movie of 1978.
Was what?
That was Superman. Grease
was
Superman.
That's crazy. How much did Grease make?
Animal House.
Wow. Animal House
crazy.
For an R-rated comedy?
Yeah, 120 mil. Grease made 160 million.
How much did Superman make?
Superman made 134. So Grease ate its lunch.
Yeah, it did. But it was kind of close between it and Animal House. That's wild.
Yeah, which is crazy.
I was at that time though where those comedies were doing so damn well.
I mean, Deer Hunter was top 10 of the year. I know we said it didn't make a ton, but
no, I didn't say that it. In comparison,
I wouldn't have thought that 49 million would get you in the top 10, but it was just a different world.
But Heaven Can Wait was what, number 5, 6?
5.
Number 5.
Right ahead of Hooper.
Huh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Jay,
would you nominate this for any Oscars?
Nominate what?
Heaven
Can Wait?
It's not an awesome year.
I'd nominate Charles Grodin.
Hell yeah.
I think I would nominate the editing. I'm surprised the editing didn't get a nomination.
Yeah.
Cinematography. I mean, like, I actually don't have a problem with what it got nominated for, minus maybe 2 of those actors.
I wouldn't give Beatty.
I wouldn't give Beatty probably actor either.
I don't think I'd give any of those actors.
But I give Grodin. But I mean, like, this. It's a rough year, you know.
It's not an awesome year.
So he'd probably make it in, to some of those categories. Picture.
Yeah.
Sure. I got to take a look more at it.
Anytime I can give Elaine May an Oscar nomination, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a Elaine May Oscar nomination away. That would be dumb of me. But yeah, I mean, like I think that the editing one was actually quite shocking when I read the list. It is such a edited story, and you have to piece things back and forth. But yeah, I think it's a flawed movie, but it's also just built off the back of a flawed premise.
Where are you? I'm at like 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I'm gonna get 3.5.
Yeah, it's like a good movie.
it's a solid 3.5, but
Yeah,
that 1.5 is really a lot what we talked about today. You know what I mean? Like the missing piece. Like, because this could be a 4-star movie if it wanted to be, right?
I mean, I think it could be better than that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it could be like a 4.5er.
those other two movies that it reminded me of are 4.5s and fives.
Yeah. So I think that like if you if you did that, I think you'd be probably better. I think in a couple of years, when somebody remakes it, they have the potential to really tap into it. But
There's a lot to mine, and they sort of keep it very surface level Hollywood.
yeah, everybody when they keep making this movie, it's like it's just going to be 90 minutes, and we're not going to tap into these themes. And it's like maybe you should, but then I guess then general audiences wouldn't like it. How much did Down to Earth even make? I'm just curious.
I
Down
think
to Earth.
$450 million.
I know you're joking here, but I am curious, like how much a movie like because the first two are considered,
71
hits
million.
on a 30 to $49 million budget. Yikes!
I mean, not great. No, I don't think anybody was
I don't think anybody
super
was
pleased.
happy
Although
about
not a
that one.
disaster.
Not a disaster, but
But when you
not.
got the American Pie guys on board,
You're thinking maybe,
thinking hundreds of millions.
you know. Well, I guess
How
so.
much did American Pie make? 235. Come on now.
235.
235 on an $11 million budget.
Wow. Yeah, Chris Rock, not necessarily the box office hit that everybody thinks he is. Like I'm just looking up heads. What is this? Head of State, $35 million budget, 39 million dollar but box office.
Yeah, it's tough.
Rough. Anyway, Jay,
Yes.
can you tell everybody where they can find you and all your work on the internet and give them a recommendation of the week?
He was in Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie. Interesting.
It is the holiday week, so if you want to, we are releasing this the week of Christmas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Letterbox J Ledbetter.
mhm.
What else? Twitter at Mr. J Ledbetter. Any writing I'm doing over at awardswatch.com. Listen to this podcast again. Recommendation of the week. I talked about it already, but man, McCabe and Mrs. Miller is just one of the greatest American films ever made.
Yes, it is.
Unbelievable. And I guess as it relates to Christmas, snow. Okay. There was a good story in the Beatty biography that apparently Altman and Beatty didn't get along particularly well. They have very different kind of philosophies when it comes to making films. Beatty, a complete perfectionist, and he would want to do takes over and over and over and over again. And Altman would be like, "We got it, man. We got it. We got it." And then the scene at the end of the film where Beatty is just coated in snow, like it looks like he's in absolute pain, like he's about to get frostbite. Apparently, Beatty wanted to be done with that, and that's when Altman decided that we're going to do 25 takes, just standing in the bitter cold snow as revenge against Warren Beatty. So I thought that was fun. You'll notice that not many directors worked multiple times with Warren Beatty, which might have something to do with why his career isn't quite as prolific as many others, although he did have a lot of other interests, politics being sort of at the forefront of that. And that was mostly spawned by his relationship with Julie Christie, who was a very politically active person herself, and I think inspired Beatty's interest in that side of things. So really interesting life. I'm sure we'll talk about his life plenty more over the course of this series, especially with who we have on our next episode, who I know is listening to the book that I'm reading. So
There you go.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the rest of this series.
Me too. And I'm
So,
excited that we're
good
gonna
start.
be getting into some really fascinating series throughout 2026.
Yeah.
And this is the first one indeed. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky at Ryan McQuade77. You can find all my work at awardswatch.com. If you like podcasts, we have the main show. We'll also be having editors podcasts throughout the award season. iTunes, Spotify, 5-star reviews, greatly appreciated. While you're over on the website, sign up for the newsletter. It's the best place to get all of our news, reviews, interviews, podcasts sent to you all in one place. Recommendation of the week, Jay. It's the holiday seasons. People got to go to the theater.
Yep.
They got to see movies on the big screen.
Of course.
They've got to go to places that they've never been to before. But what if they went back to a place that they've been to before and felt
it's in Orlando. I know what you're talking about. I've been there. It's in Orlando.
All new world. I'm talking take them to Pandora.
You got to go back to Pandora.
Take them to,
in the words of Jack from Lost, we have to go back.
We have to go back because it's that time of the year for all you people to get really annoyed by wearing black glasses that have been literally in the back of a storage closet because nobody uses this technology anymore, because Big Jim has made a movie and he's made the new Avatar movie, Avatar Fire and Ash. I saw it. Jay, you haven't seen it yet, right?
I've not seen it. My screening was at 10 a.m. on a Monday, so I could not go, which was annoying.
Which is annoying because Jay has converted me into the house of Big Jim. And listen, I think The Way of Water is a better film.
I still don't like the first Avatar.
And I still don't like the first Avatar either. But there was just something about like this one feels like the culmination of the last film and this film together. And truly some of the greatest action you're going to see this year. Some of the silliest plot devices I've ever seen in a movie. But it is done with a sincerity that only Big Jim can get away with.
Man.
3 hours and like 15 minutes of just absolutely asinine, silly, fun, dumb cinema. And I loved it. I had such a blast. It is not as good as the last one. It's a little bit, it's a little bit of stuff done. But there are some things in it, Jay, that I would love to talk with you about, because my God, is Big Jim just, he's got so much on his mind with this one. But Avatar Fire and Ash in theaters, the only movie that matters at the holiday season. Take the whole family. Go see it 3 or 4 times. Evidently, you'll get a Avengers trailer.
Ooh.
Jay, what do you think about the Avengers movie coming out next year?
We don't have time for this.
All right. Well, maybe on the next. You know what? We'll save it for the Reds episode. What do you think?
Yeah, that's going to be a quick one.
We're going to need some filler on that episode.
Yeah.
So, all right. Avatar Fire and Ash in theaters this holiday season. Go see that. Go see Marty Supreme. Go see a bunch of films that are still in theaters. Go support your theaters. Next week, we will be back to talk about Reds, the next film in our Warren Beatty's movie series. We will not be alone. Jay alluded to who will be on. It will be the great Sophia Simonello. She will be back on for what I believe to be the challenge of a lifetime, to challenge her own record as potentially the longest episode we're ever going to record.
It's one of the longest movies
we've ever talked about, so it makes sense.
Is it the longest movie?
I mean, it does have an intermission. So
it might be the longest one.
Might be the longest movie we've covered so far. Really excited about it. Can't wait to talk with Jay, Sophia next week on the show. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you all next time.